Hello everyone, my name is Suneetha Kadiyala. The members of the UPAVAN team here today are going to present about the effect of 3 nutrition-sensitive agricultural interventions with participatory videos and women's group meetings on maternal and child nutritional outcomes. The UPAVAN trial, which was a trial conducted in rural Odisha in India. I'm joined by my colleagues, some of my colleagues who are Satyanarayan Mohanty, Philip James, and Emily Fivian. Ronali Pradhan from Digital Green unfortunately could not join here today. UPAVAN is a complex behavior change intervention, but in a nutshell, it's a participatory video-driven agricultural extension intervention delivered through women's self-help groups. And we chose this because we believe it can improve equity of coverage and relevance and timeliness of interventions. We took this foundational approach and made it nutrition sensitive and then made it more participatory. We had 4 arms. The first one is a control. The first intervention arm is an arm where women from self-help group came together twice a month to view and discuss nutrition sensitive videos. In arm 2, these women came together to view and discuss 1 nutrition sensitive agriculture video and 1 nutrition specific video. In arm 3, which was the most participatory intense one, women came together to view and discuss 1 nutrition sensitive video, and once a month they came together to participate in participatory learning and action cycle meetings or watch nutrition specific videos derived from these meetings. All women intervention arms within the 1,000-day period received follow-up visits. Next slide, please. So this is the UPAVAN's theory of change, and I would like to draw your attention to our key impact pathways, which was producing food, earning income, reducing workload of pregnant women and breastfeeding women, improving joint decision making, and for nutrition specific, our key pathways were improving maternal and child dietary adequacy. The next slide shows how we have unpacked the behaviors to prioritize within a vast array of possible behaviors, and how we made each video nutrition sensitive. Because of the lack of time, we encourage you to look at this paper with the reference below. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Dr. Suneetha. I'm Satya Mohanty and I'm part of the UPAVAN trial team. Let me quickly give you an overview of the UPAVAN impact evaluation. The UPAVAN trial was conducted covering 4 blocks in Keonjhar district of Odisha state in India. Keonjhar is home to 1.8 million people and around 86% of households work in agriculture. Before the trial in 2015-16, 30% women in Keonjhar were underweight and 19% children were wasted. The evaluation used cluster randomized controlled trial design. It covered 148 clusters, which were equally allocated to 4 arms by stratifying by distance to the nearest town and by proportion of scheduled tribe or scheduled caste households. The eligible trial participants were children below 2 years and their primary caregivers, and also we interviewed their spouses or household heads. The impact evaluation looked at 2 primary outcomes and 2 secondary outcomes. The child dietary diversity and maternal underweight were the primary outcomes, and the maternal dietary diversity and child wasting were the secondary outcomes. To measure these outcomes, we conducted repeat cross-sectional surveys at the baseline and then exactly 3 years later for the end line. Also, I would like to mention that besides the impact evaluation, we conducted the process evaluation and also the economic evaluation of the UPAVAN trial. Yeah, thank you.
For the analysis, we used intention to treat approach. We compare the outcomes at end line between each intervention and control arm. We used appropriate generalized estimating equations for each outcome to account for the clustering. We adjusted for baseline measures of the outcome by including all individuals at each time point linked by cluster. We also adjusted for the stratification factors. So for the key impact evaluation findings, for the primary outcomes, we found improvements in child minimum dietary diversity in the Agri-Nut and Agri-Nut plus PLA arms by 19% and 27% respectively. We found no improvements in maternal BMI. For the secondary outcomes, we found improvements in maternal minimum dietary diversity in the Agri and Agri-Nut plus PLA arms by 21% and 30% respectively, and marginally significant improvements in the Agri-Nut arm. There was no difference in child wasting across any of the arms. For the other outcomes, we found improvements in child minimum acceptable diet in Agri-Nut and Agri-Nut plus PLA arms compared to the control, and improvements in women decision-making in agriculture or health and net value of agricultural production, both in the Agri arm compared to the control.
Taking all of this together, we found that 2 of our trial arms, the Agri-Nut and Agri-Nut and PLA arms, both improved child minimum dietary diversity to a large extent in comparison to previous trials. We also found 2 of our intervention arms improved maternal minimum dietary diversity, and we believe this is the first study to report this. Arm 3, the Agri-Nut and PLA arm, showed the largest effect sizes for both maternal and child dietary diversity, suggesting that the enhanced participatory components were important. Our trial and those before ours have shown that we cannot improve child wasting. So we advocate for continued investment in both the supply and demand-driven components of intergenerational interventions to address this gap. In conclusion, we believe our trial suggests that enhancing nutrition sensitivity and participatory components of agricultural interventions can indeed improve diet quality. However, we believe the design and implementation of the trial is just as important. So high fidelity and a focus on problem solving and capacity development is equally important. Finally, we advocate for the continued coordination and convergence of all relevant sectors to focus on our window of opportunity from pre-conception to 24 months of age. Thank you for listening, and we invite you to attend our question and answer session on Tuesday, the 30th of June.